This diagram shows the initial decision point every Spanish speaker navigates when starting a conversation. In English, a simple hello usually works for everyone. In Spanish, you have to assess two specific variables before you speak: when the conversation is happening and exactly who you are speaking to, like a close friend or a company executive. Let's look at the first variable, time. This timeline breaks the day into 3 strict greeting windows. From sunrise until about noon, you use buenos dias. From noon until the sun goes down, you shift to buenas tardes. And once the sun sets, the greeting becomes buenas noches, which works for both good evening and good night. If you lose track of the time, you do have universal options. Hola and the shorter, more casual, buenas cover the entire 24-hour span. You will use these constantly. In Spanish-speaking countries, there's a strong cultural expectation to greet people individually when you enter a shared, enclosed space. Stepping into a local shop or a small elevator and saying hola to strangers is standard practice. Time dictates your baseline vocabulary, but to hold a full interaction, you need to analyze the specific social dynamic between you and the other person. This pathway illustrates the 2 distinct social registers in Spanish. On the left is tú, the informal register. You use this with family, friends, and children. On the right is usted, the formal register. You must use this when speaking to bosses, elders, or professionals. Your choice of register actually alters the verbs you use. To ask someone how they are casually, you ask ¿Cómo estás? But if you take the formal path, the verb drops the S entirely. It becomes ¿Cómo está usted? When someone asks you that question, you can map your response on this scale. At the top, a positive day is muy bien. In the middle, if things are just okay, you can say regular or más o menos. And at the bottom, if things are difficult, you respond with no muy bien. No matter where you land on that scale, polite conversation requires you to bounce the question back. You follow your answer with ¿y tú? For a friend, or ¿y usted? For someone you are addressing formally. Memorizing this split between tú and usted ensures you communicate respect accurately in any situation. Once you establish your register and ask how someone is, you'll need to introduce yourself. The 2 most direct ways to do this are stating me llamo, followed by your name, or simply soy. This diagram outlines how to say nice to meet you. The central phrase, mucho gusto, is universally safe for anyone to use, but the flanking phrases are gendered. Encantado ends in an O for the masculine form, and encantada ends in an A for the feminine form. The critical rule here is that the ending vowel must match your own gender as the speaker. It has nothing to do with the gender of the person listening to you. If you are a man, you always say encantado, regardless of who you are shaking hands with. To end the conversation, you select a farewell based on exactly when you expect to see the person next. If it's later today, use hasta luego. If you will see them the next day, drop the pin on hasta mañana. If you have no idea when you'll cross paths again, use the standard adios or the casual ciao. Let's test these variables. It's 9 a.m. You are meeting your new boss, Mr. Lopez, for the first time. How do you greet him? State your name and ask how he is. Let's look at how this flows in a complete informal loop between friends. Ana texts, Hola Carlos, ¿qué tal? Carlos replies, Hola Ana, muy bien, ¿y tú? Ana says, Bastante bien, gracias. And Carlos signs off with, Hasta luego. Now compare that to a formal exchange. Mr. Lopez says, Buenos días, ¿cómo se llama usted? Maria answers, Buenos días, me llamo Maria, mucho. Next, in Lesson 3, we'll apply these same step-by-step principles to mastering numbers 1 through 20.